Welcome back to my channel. Let's get right to the latest craziness from Heidi.
Let's say we were being paid $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month. That's why the others start acting out. Maybe I would go a little bit more professional and try to do a scripted P thing. That maybe. But we don't get paid like that, nor are we sellouts like those channels.
People act out because they are making $3,000 or $4,000 a month? That doesn't even make sense. Why do you need to make that much to be professional anyway? You might need it to buy professional equipment, but you don't need anything special to act professional, and certainly not to take the time and effort to script a video. P started out with a very cheap phone camera, which also served as her microphone, and an underpowered computer. Finally, what sellouts? The only name Heidi mentions is P, and contrary to many statements Heidi has made, P has covered both the positives and negatives of the Philippines. P just isn't nasty about it.
You don't fucking pay me enough to keep my motherfucking mouth shut, so that's the way it's gonna be.
Don't much care if Heidi keeps her mouth shut or not. I only care if she lies about people, makes assumptions, or spreads other gossip. I react when other people have been lied about as well. As I said from the beginning, most will involve attacks on P for the simple reason that I've watched all her videos and thus can spot someone lying about her pretty easily. Then Heidi again talks about P bringing back snacks to her family.
She's had all those snacks that she discussed. She's been in America, come back, and I said something. So then he has not done a video in a while. I knew he would. You got triggered, bitch.
If referring to me, she gets it wrong. I've done videos once or twice every week on various topics, but I always make room to react to trolls. It's my thing. As for knowing he would, well, I'm firmly on record as saying I'll deal with trolls, so that isn't much of a prediction. As I documented before from P's actual video, Heidi lied about what P said and made assumptions. But since Heidi is going to do it again, I'll save those details for a moment. Heidi often whines about people without being clear about who she is referring to. This sounds much like other things she has said about P, so unless Heidi finally decides to speak clearly, I'll treat it as being about P.
I can't trust anybody that's just like, oh, have a nice day, and oh, everything is good, and hey, don't worry about that, and they're reading from a script. It's like, well, here in the Philippines, and I'm like, dude, you can see the person is clearly reading, or it's so scripted. It's like, and that's how it is today in the Philippines. Thank you for watching. And it's like, oh, hell nah.
But he gives the pluses and minuses. Heidi always gets that wrong. Heidi repeatedly whines about scripted videos, but Heidi can't actually show anything wrong with scripting a video. No one ever has. But feel free to actually try, Heidi. I already know all the things you might say. Now, all that I've covered so far were based on a video I wasn't going to react to. But then Heidi did it again in another video. So I decided to just react to both at once. So here's the second part.
And they're going to come up with the same thing. Oh, you're picking on the Filipina P and you don't know shit. And you're bullshit. Let me stir you up a little bit.
Well, if Heidi can pick on anyone without lying and making assumptions, I don't mind at all. I even did a video or two about something P got wrong, and there are things I think P could have said better, but they are never a big deal, and certainly not lies. Some of you may remember the times Heidi has said she isn't jealous of P. Well, she has a strange way of showing she isn't. It's generally jealous people who make attacks about things that literally don't matter at all, like this.
You simps are watching her talking like a whole video a couple days ago about her dad using a regular fishing pole versus the Philippine way. Sorry, if you're watching that shit that he's using a modern fishing pole, that's her entire content, then that's on you guys.
Who, if they are not jealous, would whine about someone doing a video about fishing? I note how Heidi dramatizes it by saying it's a whole video and it was the entire content, and calling it shit. Keep in mind that P's entire video was only 20 minutes long, and on a topic where, at least in the US, there have been many 30-minute weekly TV shows of the same type thing. That is, some people going out on a boat or fishing along a river, etc. And just like P's video, there's a lot of just talking. Maybe it's just of more interest to men, but so what? Especially since most of P's audience is men. Heidi spends much more time repeating the same stuff over and over on her live streams and takes hours each time. Note, I'm not saying Heidi shouldn't talk about what she wants, as long as she isn't lying about others. But the repetition is just stunning coming from someone who is bothered by a 20-minute video on fishing. If Heidi doesn't care about the fishing topic, here's an idea. Just don't watch. There was nothing wrong with the video on the subject though, just as there's nothing wrong with scripting videos.
And if I want to fucking say something and I didn't watch the entire video, that's what the fuck I'm gonna say.
Good Lord. Imagine admitting you don't watch the entire video, which was only 20 minutes, that you are going to complain about. But it's actually worse than that, because as they pointed out in a recent video, Heidi said she based one of her criticisms on just a video thumbnail and title. In other words, without knowing any of the content. Not to mention, I couldn't find any thumbnail or title that fit what Heidi described. Next, Heidi comes back to the candies and Twinkies P brought to her family to try. And, surprise, Heidi lies and assumes things she literally has no way of knowing. Again.
Just like saying her family didn't have certain candies and that Twinkies were new to them. Bullshit.
How would Heidi know what P's family would have tasted before? She couldn't know. Thus, she is making a baseless assumption. Let me demonstrate how baseless. All those sweets are common in the United States, and certainly within most everyone's budget. I've seen Almond Joy, Mary Jane, Baby Ruth, and Snow Caps candy all my life. Guess what? I've never tasted any of them, and I have a sweet tooth. While you can buy just about anything, even in the Philippines, via online and some other places, they will be far less common and certainly less likely to be found in the province away from cities. And growing up in extreme poverty would also mean it isn't likely they'd spend money on such things anyway. Of course, if a person is going to assume things, they might as well make up what someone said too.
That they didn't have something that sweet was her statement.
But P didn't say any such thing. No one in P's video did, and I did watch the full video. However, I did make an error in the prior video which talked about this. Well, not an error so much as missing something that should have been obvious to me. You see, in that earlier video, Heidi made an issue about P getting overly dramatic about the sweetness. Remember this?
They're eating Twinkies like they don't, oh, these are so super sweet.
Well, Heidi presented that in a pretty dramatic way. And then she said this.
She goes over dramatic about saying things. I'm dramatic, but
But the only one that was dramatic was Heidi. Here are the only times from P's video where the word sweet was even used.
8 out of 10.
Why 8 out of 10?
Because it's not too sweet.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10? Why?
Like it's too sweet.
It's too sweet.
That's it. Each of her brothers simply described what they ate, and P echoes what they said back to them without giving her own opinion. Where is the drama? Well, besides the way Heidi exaggerated the facts again. But there is more.
So it's like, if I want to say something because I'm watching someone's content, doesn't mean I have to love it and fall over it.
I'm pretty sure no one says she has to love anything. Personally, even leaving out the lies and assumptions, I see nothing worth watching on Heidi's channel. But if others like it, fine.
I've been watching her content for years. Just like you can have your opinion, but don't come in with a bunch of lies.
Yet I keep catching Heidi spreading lies. I hope Heidi's health improves, but as I said before, her bad health doesn't get her a free pass to tell falsehoods about others. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.